Hey everyone, welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you're a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. Dottie, I'm so excited for today's show.
I am too, Orly. Actually, it's a good time of the year. So the topic that we're going to talk about today, I think, is pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, I was thinking, during the holidays, it's kind of a time of giving. It's just special to be around friends and family and do nice things for people, which is good to do all year. But, during the holidays, people seem to do it more. And I was just starting to think, when it comes to running a bowling center or any business and you have employees there, now's the time to kind of do something nice for them also. Did you, when you were running the center, was that something you did? Maybe whether it was an employee party or just a holiday party? I was curious to know kind of your take on that.
Yeah, well, first of all, yes, I think it's great to always show our appreciation and our gratitude, and especially this time of year, right? I mean, our employees work very, very hard for us. And sometimes, I want to digress just a little bit here. I want to share with you how sometimes the smallest gesture can have the biggest impact on someone. So it doesn't really have to be, anything really big to make someone feel really special. But I'm going to share a story. My mom, who is 89 years old, still to this day shares with me a story about her and my father, who had gone with perfect attendance for 5 years. And the president of the company hand wrote them a letter congratulating them. And she carried that letter around in her purse. And to this day still has that letter. All these years later, she still has that one little thing, that small little gesture made such an impact on her. How special was it that he took the time to tell me how much he appreciated it? So with that being said, this is a great time of year. And you ask, did I do anything for my employees? Well, That's a really loaded question, Orly, because you know me, when I do something, I like to go big, right?
Yeah.
And so the answer to that is yes, I did. Christmas, the holidays was the one time a year that I really wanted the employees to see how special they were and how much all of their hard work and their effort meant. Because at the end of the day, it's the employees that made the business what it was. It wasn't me. It was them executing what my vision was or what my expectation was. And so during the holidays, we always went out of our way to do something special. And so, and actually, we had a big party. We continued to do our, we were open for business. So it wasn't after hours, it was during hours, but we rotated around to watch the front desk during the party. It worked. End of the day, it worked. I mean, the December was so busy. We really couldn't find the time where we could close down for work, but and that really brought us together too. We always rotated around and somebody would, come in for 30 minutes and watch the front desk, and then they go back in the party and we'd rotate around. So that in itself was really teamwork at its best. But what we did is we did door prizes for our employees, and we even tiered it based on seniority. And we did that because some of the gifts that we gave away were like super high dollar. Like we would do things like give away iPads and limo rides packaged with a really nice steak dinner downtown. I mean, we're talking several hundreds of dollars of these door prizes. And, listeners might be going, well, golly, you must have had a big budget. Folks, I had zero budget that I worked with, zero budget. And the way we worked it is we would offer the businesses that we were going to ask if they would like to do, do some sort of a trade.
Okay.
for prizes, right?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of different ways to do it. And believe me, I did this for so many years. I had a pretty intricate program in place, and it was so profitable for the center. But so basically what we would do is we would provide door prizes for our employees. So they could be a number of different things. It could be movie tickets, and each one of our employees gets movie tickets. So if we did something like that, then the movie theater would get bowling passes for their employees.
Okay.
And so why does that make sense? Well, it makes sense because all 50 of those movie theater employees now I had an opportunity to turn them into our customers as well.
Exactly.
Plus they got shoe rental and stuff like that, right? So it made a lot of sense. But we also, as we were calling around trying to get prizes and stuff for the employees for their Christmas party, we also asked what they were doing for their employees. And you would be surprised what we found out. So some of them hadn't even thought about doing anything for their employees. And so it got them going, oh gosh, I don't know. I haven't done anything. I haven't thought about anything. So another option that we did was, how about having a party at our center? And we would, if it was a restaurant, for example, and we were looking to get 2 $50 gift cards for our employees, then if they had their party at the bowling center and they did bowling and food and all this kind of stuff, we would take $100 off the top, and we would use that. They would pay us that in the form of 2 $50 gift cards for door prizes. So you have no idea what that did. All of a sudden, I have someone on the phone that's calling around and promoting our holiday parties. And these people that would have never come to our center to have a holiday party suddenly were coming because they can take a portion of it and pay it in the form of gift cards.
Yeah. It seems like a great idea, because not only are you making your employees happy, but you're also bringing in customers at the same time by doing the exchange. I think one of the funnest thing for me when we did a company party was, we had people all different ages working at the bowling center, and they don't always all work together, during the day or during a shift, or, the kitchen sometimes doesn't always work necessarily with the front desk staff a lot, besides like, hey, Bob, I need some fries or something. But it's like when they all came together, even though, there's younger kids that are too cool for some of the older people, they still all just had a blast. Everyone was having fun. Everybody was talking. Everybody's smiling. And it's really cool. Because I think some of them even think maybe like, oh, bowling party with work. Like, okay, well, we'll come. But then before you know it, like I said, they're all having a blast. And it was a good time. I love it.
I will tell you this, early on, we would do the bowling portion of it. But we actually wound up, they could bowl after we got done with our food. Okay. A lot of times we did potluck. Sometimes I catered in. But we wound up the whole idea of these door prizes. You really have no idea. When I tell you it was like Christmas, it was like Christmas. We had so many prizes. It was not uncommon for every single employee to get 2 to 3 nice gifts. Plus everybody got like a swag bag of all the little things like the local grocery stores would give me cases of chips. So everybody got like bags of chips. We used to have like salsa manufacturing companies here, and they would give bottles of salsa. So everybody got in their goodie bag of, salsa. It was crazy. Some of the most bizarre things we had in our little goodie bags, but it was just a fun time, and it really did bring everybody together. And you would see employees swap in their gifts and all this kind of stuff. It really was like a family event. And we during that time we told stories and, things like that. But before we ever got doing the door prizes for the party, myself, as well as the owners, would always stand up and let the employees know just how much they meant to us and just how lucky we were to have them, and really show, our appreciation, and let them hear it from us how much they were appreciated. And
Yeah, and that goes just as far as a gift, you know.
absolutely
It's
it
not always.
does.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's gifts are great to get, but sometimes just hearing that thank you or really seeing how much they mean to the company or to you goes a long way. Don't get me wrong. Gifts are fun too. And another
Yes,
thing on
they
gifts,
are.
though, if you think about it, is sometimes you have these parents who maybe, you know, I know me as a parent, I'm always getting stuff for my kids and my wife, and then it's like, I didn't get myself nothing. I don't need anything. You know, that's just how parents are. So you never know. There might be a mom or a dad that's always buying for everybody for Christmas, and they might get a little left out, but they're leaving with this cool gift from work. They're probably going to be super excited because they might not always get something.
Right. And you know, Orly, I will say, and we do have some of our listeners are former employees of mine. So I'd love for them to comment on this and kind of share their experiences. But there were employees that came up to me years later and said, you know, those were some of the best times because that was my Christmas.
Yeah.
And so you never know. But you know, listeners, don't be afraid also to reach out to the people that you do business with. We always reached out to our beer vendors, our Coke. We were a Coke house. Coca-Cola usually, you know, could do something. So don't be afraid. Even like Cisco, they used to do things as well. So you never know. Don't be afraid. Anything that you provide someone as a gift is appreciated 9 times out of 10. So, you know, look at all your options and think, you know, who you could reach out to that could help you with that.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, this is all great things that you covered because I think some people probably in the beginning here, you're talking about these big prizes are probably like, oh man, I wish I could do that for my center. But like you said, you had zero budget. So now you
Yeah,
guys know, go out there and start begging. I'm just kidding, not begging.
absolutely. I
just
mean,
asking, you know, doesn't hurt to
you know,
ask.
stores like Apple and Best Buy and all those, they have tons of employees. You know, they may not have ever thought about having a party for them at a bowling center, but if they come out and have a party and you can work out some sort of incentive, maybe they didn't have the budget and you can help them out by taking, you know, a couple of $100 off the top and you can use that for gift cards or even, you know, a physical prize that you give to your employee. That might be incentive enough for them to actually come in and have a party at your center.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be afraid. Reach out and, you know, for me, it was a fun time. I would always try to do more each year. And so, you know me, I'm a competitive person. So if I got, you know, enough for every employee to get 3 gifts this year, well, then next year I'd try to get 4 gifts for everybody. So, you know, I'm always competing against myself. I'm my worst enemy. So,
Yeah, no, I think it's a great, this is a great show. And I think people are going to, yeah, they're just going to hear that and know, oh, wow, I could give away some cool gifts now. You know, I might not have the budget, you know, or this year maybe we didn't make as much money as I wanted to make. So, but now, you know, you don't necessarily have to have a budget to be able to get some cool prizes for your employees.
yes. And boy, is it motivating for the employees too. So, you know, it's really good. So think about it. If you got questions for Orly and I, we'll be happy. I love this topic. This was my favorite time of the year in the center, was to be able to give back and to show the appreciation that my employees so deserved. Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to share a little kindness. Well, listeners, thanks so much. And remember, today's seeds of knowledge are tomorrow's fruits of success. See you in our next episode.